and surprisingly funny, Dr. Perry is a man worth listening to. We are honored to have him here with us this morning, so please join me in welcoming Dr. Steve Perry.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Seems like a cool class. I'm not here recruiting, but in the event that you want to move out west, please just let a brother know. We may have something for you. Thank you so much. I am humbled and honored to be here among a group as compelling as this. And I say that because you are the leaders of a nation. You are the ones who understand that the school systems that were designed in 1635 are in fact insufficient. No other technology from 1635 is celebrated. The expectations that you put upon your educators, your parents, and your children is truly an inspiration for those of us throughout the country. Because you fought weak-minded political affiliations for something far greater, children. You know, as I was sitting in this room, I was impressed. It's hard not to be impressed by the grandeur of this space. Every detail clearly and completely taken into consideration. That the individuals who designed this room wanted something different. They wanted something that would stand the test of time. They wanted something that people would see and be inspired by. You've built these rooms in people's hearts every single day. You, by making it possible for 150,000 children to dream impossible dreams, dreams that seemed impossible not because of the size of the dream, but because of the small-mindedness of politicians who are more interested in teachers' unions than they are children. See, part of our problem is that we don't accept that we are in a fight, a legit, real fight. Y'all keep coming here wanting to wrestle. They want to fight. This, for them, is a zero-sum game. Every single time you inspire a child to see what it is that she or he has, and inspire that parent to write their name on an application to put their child in a bus or a car or a train or however it is that they're going to get to the school that is no longer in their neighborhood, they see you as taking money out of their pockets. We need to frame the conversation for what it is. You have a person running for governor against children. Anytime you fight against a family's will to choose what's best for their child, you are fighting against the child. Anytime you focus more on the individuals who have degrees and certifications than you do the people who desire a better day, you are fighting against children. And there's no worse fight than to fight against kids. There's no lower fight than to fight against children. People didn't ask to be here, but who by virtue of the fact that they were born in this great state, in our fantastic country, replete with its inconsistencies, we were fighting the most horrible fights. See, we don't call them out often enough, because we know too much about education to think that one size fits all. The difference between the traditional schools and charter schools is really clear. Our very existence is determined by our capacity to be creative and compelling, to create schools that people want to go to, not have to go to, not are born into and have no other choice because they live in a community where they have no choice. Our schools are designed to create opportunities for the mind to grow, for children to fly. And it's working. It's working. The #1 school in the entire state is in Auburn, a charter school. 8 of the top 10 schools in Detroit that send kids to college, charter schools. 10 out of the top 10 schools in Detroit performing, charter schools. 15% of all schools in the United States of America are schools of choice. Yet they represent 65% of the top performing schools on U.S. News and World Report. What in the hell are we fighting about? How is this even a fight? How is this even a conversation? It is because we, smart people who know better, it is because we, trailblazers, have allowed ourselves to be put into an intellectual ghetto in which we stop having an honest conversation about what our communities need. We allow people who call themselves liberals who say, I want a woman to have the right to choose what she does with her body. And then when she has that child, I want to tell her where to send that child to school. People who call themselves liberals will say to us that it is racist to say that you want to send children to segregated schools, yet they fight for the segregation that the Supreme Court said was so. In 1954, it was found very simply that if you lived in a community and you only had the opportunity to go to a school that was in your community, that is segregation. Yet these same people who say that they fight for my people ain't fighting for my people because they don't send their kids to my schools. What a mighty hypocrite. What a mighty hypocrite. Who can say that pork on that plate is good for you, not for me. But you should eat it all up. Eat it until your heart's content. This school, I would never send my child to it, but you should send yours there. In fact, not only should you, I'm going to create some of those bizarre laws to make it so that they have to. Folks, they're desperate now. You pulled 150,000 children closer to their dreams. Oh, it's on now. You've shown children who live in poor communities, who get up early in the morning to milk cows still. You've shown kids who are afraid to walk the streets, who carry a weapon not because they're dangerous people, but because people are dangerous, that they don't have to be. You put books in the hands of children who didn't believe they would ever learn to read. You put dreams in the minds of people who felt that there was only darkness. Oh, you've done it now. And so what they're going to do is they're going to continue to play this gender politics. They're going to try and make it seem like you are somehow against women because you're against education. Man, see, the teachers' union is nothing if not crafty. What they want to make it seem is that you are against teachers. How the hell am I against teachers when I employ teachers? How could I be against people who want to free the minds of children? No, I'm against union dues. I'm against forcing a child into a school that has not graduated children who can read in 20 years. I'm against going to the same well and coming out with dirty water. I'm against the lies that are told about charter schools. But I am pro the truth. See, where we are now is we are in a place where we need people such as you to understand that this is America. This is America. Ecumenical, playing on both sides of the aisle, because above all else, we believe in our kids. We don't believe in institutions that have institutionalized our children. Why would I, as an African-American male, support a system that is at the beginning of the school-to-prison pipeline? How could I say I'm for my people when my people have been in schools that have constantly and grossly underserved them, and then say that I'm down with that cause? I'm not for that. If Black Lives Matter, then my black ass has got to matter too. White folks, y'all ain't got to clap. That was just for black people. The point is this: do not allow yourself to be put into a space where you're made to feel like you're wrong. You're right. You are on the right side of history. Every single nation has celebrated people like you. People have said that we are going to create opportunity where there was never one before. Every single nation has celebrated people just like you, who came together across professions, across communities, for one solid purpose: freedom. Freedom. That's what we're fighting for, man. Freedom. Pure and simple. The most basic of human instincts is to be free. And it is that indelible spirit of humanity that cannot be stopped. by simple-minded politics. Cannot be stopped by vilifying a type of school. How insane is that? How could you be against an entire type of school? What the hell? What they're against is the fact that the overwhelming majority of teachers who work in charter schools are not in unions. That's it. Don't overthink this, folks. It's not that deep. It's really not. No matter how many times they try to spin you around, make you think that you're taking money away, let me explain to you the way this equation works. The public collects taxes to educate the public, i.e., the people. When the people make the decision to use their revenue that was collected on their behalf to seek an education, that's public education. It is not defined by the type or the location of the school. It is by the act of educating. But we've allowed them to say that we are against public education, yet we're the ones most likely to educate the public. Look, Jay-Z is a rapper, don't worry about it. He said, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Unions do. Man, do they lie. When we opened our first school in Bridgeport, Connecticut, they put out a pamphlet. They still put out pamphlets. They're so 1980s. So they put out a pamphlet, a flyer, that said that I stood to make $15 million off of the charter school. Personally, I was like, hell yeah, I came up. Except for the fact that it wasn't true, it was a really cool thing. And I thought, there's no one who would believe that. First of all, my school's budget for the first year was $2 million. So that would mean I'd have to find a way to find another $13 million that year alone. And everybody who's in the school is going to have to work for free. That's quite a plan. So I figured there's no way on earth that anyone could believe this, least of all the state's Board of Education, because they had the budget right there. You don't need to get to calculus to add. It's just simple math. It's right there. It's just right. Just make it all the way down. And so there I sat, as the union goons stood outside, literally physically getting in my face. Literally physically getting in my face. And I said, brother, this is a bow tie. This mess comes off. I tied it myself. Please get out of my face. Just to get in to the hearing. And so there I sat, in front of the state's Board of Education. And one of the board members says, Dr. Perry, research tells us that you will be making $15 million from this school. I didn't answer because I thought it was a joke. So I stayed there thinking that the rest of it was coming. I thought he was being sarcastic, but he wasn't. And so there I had to explain the math that was sitting in front of them, that it was not possible for such a thing to occur. The point is that every single time we are silent, these lies become a part of the narrative around charter schools. And they make it harder and harder for us to do the work that is vital to the very existence of America. Ladies and gentlemen, if the 150,000 children who are in charter schools here in this state were not in charter schools, the state's traditional schools would not be better. They would be worse. The only thing that would be better would be the size of the union coffers that are standing in the way of our progress. There has always been a group, a bad guy. They're it. But what they've done a fantastic job is putting us in a position where we are made to feel like we are the bad guys. We are not taking money away, we are giving freedom to children. That's what we are supposed to do. Every single time we are asked what we do, we say, I work in a charter school. Or we come up with a bunch of other answers. I'm an educator. I work with kids. Anything other than standing boldly in the position that we are in, we make it seem like we should be ashamed of the work that we do. Folks, we are educators. We are freedom fighters. We are the future. In order for the future to be real, we need you, me, and us to stand up and speak boldly the truth of the little girls in our school who decided to come to our school because they were bullied at another school and nobody would do anything. Of the little boy who is in our school because he felt like something was wrong with him because he liked school. The kids who didn't know what college was but wanted to go to college because college seemed like a better place than the places they lived in. We are dream factories. We make so many dreams come true so often, it just seems like it's just typical. Think about it. Before charter schools and schools of choice, how many publicly funded schools were sending 100% of their graduates on to four-year colleges? You see, the lie of the status quo is that if you are born poor, if you are born a minority, if you live with a single parent, if your parent or two are in prison, if they suffer from any form of mental illness, if they have any addiction, then you are doomed. That is the lie of the status quo. But each one of you who wake up every day and make your way into a charter school know it's a lie. You know you don't have to pat kids down before they come into school. Just shake his hand, say good morning, son. You know you don't have to scream at kids to catch their attention. Just say, I love you. And you know that you don't have to change their address to change where they're going. But what you do have to do is fight. Because I promise you, all of the easy battles have been won. The first wave of freedom fighters who came before us laid the groundwork. But the opponents are regrouping. They are coming back. In one city, after an African American pastor started a successful charter school in a building that used to be a neighborhood school, but because of under-enrollment had to be shut down. It's called democracy. This community has passed an ordinance that prohibits the use of public school buildings that have been closed for education. No former public school in this community can be used as a school ever again. They are desperate. Husbands, you understand, it's like when your wife is trying to argue a point that you know makes no sense. Or wives, like when your husband is trying to stop you from doing something that you know makes no sense, you get desperate. You start saying things and doing things that make no damn sense. It makes no sense. It's a school. It could now be used for anything but a school because someone dared to open a school in this community that educated African Americans and Latinos and poor children, that gave them the opportunity to dream. Now it is prohibited in this community by a democratically elected group of people who would tell you that they are for the community, when the community was the reason why the school began. The other side is desperate. They're not playing. This is not a game. Those of you who are fortunate enough to have money are going to need to use your money to support candidates and individuals who are working their behinds off to make sure that choice remains in place. You cannot sit back along the sidelines any longer. What you gave before, what you committed before, will not be enough because they are in trouble. The teachers' unions in America over the past 10 years have lost 350,000 members and counting. They are hemorrhaging because regular people have said, I don't think I should have to be forced into the school that's down the street that didn't teach me to read, didn't teach my grandmother to read, didn't teach my mother to read, didn't teach any of us to read. That has us not just in the intellectual ghetto, but in a physical ghetto, economically bound by the limitations of our capacity, most importantly, feeling bad about ourselves. This is a real fight, folks. This is the fight. And when we win, what will we have won? Probably a cure for cancer. Because I don't know about your God, but mine tells me that He puts in the least among us some of the greatest gifts, hidden right in plain sight, in somebody's housing project, on somebody's farm, in somebody's trailer. It's something that you need. And if we keep sending our children to places that are called schools but don't educate, we'll never gain access to the gifts that are right here on earth. If we keep sending children to schools that they don't want to attend, how do you know? Look at their suspension rates, look at their attendance rates, and look at their dropout rates. In 2007, it was reported that only 20% of the children who started in Detroit's public schools finished. Where do all those people go? They don't all die. Not a physical death. We're here today in this auspicious room to celebrate people who've seen grandeur where other people have seen excuses. We're here to celebrate people who believed in children they will never meet, who passed laws and created schools for children they will never know, in parts of the state that they will never visit, because it was the right thing to do. We've all learned over time that there is such a thing as truth. And we all learned that there is right and wrong. In these United States, it is wrong to rob a child of her or his future, especially for the sake of someone's job. So as we celebrate, the best way to celebrate is to remember the fight. That was the first quarter. The first 25 years is the first quarter. We got to ball out for the rest of this thing. We're not even up, just so we're clear. We're not even up. But we're in the game. And we are fighting against a system that was designed to make sure that children from historically disadvantaged populations do not succeed. As I close, I want you to think about the following. While all of us are dressed nicely, in this beautiful room we gather, quite a number of you didn't come from situations such as this. Quite a number of you are the first in your family to go to college. Quite a number of you might be the only sane one in your family. And somehow, some way, you got here. There wasn't a charter school for you, there wasn't a magnet school for you. It may have been an after-school program, or a pastor, or a Boy Scout leader, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts. But there were a number of people who came together to create an opportunity for you to be here. The odds now are worse than ever before of kids making it out. We know what works. We know what works. I ask you to go back to that place in your heart and mind when you wanted something greater for yourself. I ask you to go back to the prayers that you had for what your life may be. I ask you to think of the sacrifices that your parents made when they didn't go on vacation, when they didn't go out to eat, when you ate a sugar sandwich. I ask you to think about what it was like to struggle, to watch your parents struggle. I ask you to think about what it was like to see your parents who came to this country from somewhere else not speaking the language with a couple dollars in their pocket, but a great big dream in their heart. While we're older now, and there is a significant distance from those days to these, if you've ever experienced life without, you never forget it. It colors the way you look at everything. It changes a part of you. It creates something inside you. I need you to reflect on what it was like to not have. And then I beg you to justify passing that horrible condition on to another child. There is no justification, not here, not now. We know too much about how to run schools. We know too much about how kids learn. We know too much. There's no reason to have a bad school ever again. We've actually solved the problem. All the questions about how we can educate people who don't speak English, we know the answers to. All the questions about how we educate children from historically disadvantaged populations, we actually know the answers. We literally already know the answers. We may as well study if water is wet or fire is hot. We know the answers. But I believe that the smartest person in the room is not the one with the best answers, but the one with the best questions. And so in my pursuit of trying to be the smartest person in the room, I ask you the following question. What's it going to take for you to fight harder for the kids who are just like you? From the homes just like yours, who want to be in a room just like this. Thank you for everything you've done and all that you will do. Have a great rest of the morning. Dr. Steve Perry.